Hey folks, Quillyteen here, and welcome to a short little video about Battletech Mods. I have been scouring the interwebs and watching some stuff and seeing how the mod development for Battletech is coming along. And while it doesn't have workshop support, there is incredible amounts of modability built into this game, and the community has certainly been picking it up with, only a few weeks after release. There's a slew of different options out there, things to dramatically rebalance the game, things to add a bunch of new weapons into the game, including your classic Battletech weapons that might be lost tech or kind of weapons that you wouldn't be able to get into the base game, maybe making them available, rebalancing things, I think I said that before, changing a ton of rules about combat, changing the way that your mech warriors can level up and what their abilities do, and so on and so forth. Personally, I'm going to highlight 3 mini mods here, all by the same person, actually, which I think does a great job of rebalancing some very basic things about mech warrior, the sort of salvage rules, as well as the ease of maintaining your little group here. So I've just finished a mission, and you can see I've picked up 2 of these parts from the Thunderbolt here. I was actually very good about making sure to try to get as many parts of salvage as possible from these mechs by mostly just legging them over here. So I already have 1 of 3 needed for the TDR-5S3, and I've got 2 bits over here, as well as a bit of a king crab. Couldn't get any more parts, unfortunately, off him, which is kind of sad making, but there it is. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue here, and if we do that, chukka, 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 and we go into the mech bay, we should see something quite interesting. The most dramatic of the 3 mods that I have installed is probably this one. This is called the Broken Salvage Mechs mod, and it's actually the first mod I saw that really caught my attention. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm modding this up. With this mod, when you salvage a mech, it does not magically appear in your bay in one piece with every, laser and everything intact and all the armor in place. In fact, it is just an empty shell, basically, with every single part requiring replacement. So if we hit repair all over here, that removes all the damage traits, but also removes all these components, because none of these components are valid in any way. They've all been removed. So now at least I can use the mech, but I'm still going to have to go through the process of equipping it with a variety of weapons. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, I throw a bunch of lasers on here. I don't know, a bunch of medium lasers. Doesn't matter. I don't even know where they go. I just want to get an idea of the approximate cost. So let's say I do something like this, max out the armor. Let's say we confirm this, and I'm fine with this. So now all of a sudden, bringing this salvaged mech up to combat readiness is going to cost me over 500,000 C-bills over here just to do that. And that's not even actually fully up to spec, because not all the weapons are equipped. Of course, the most significant cost is actually the replacement cost of the various parts. Installing weapons aren't too expensive, but remember, none of the weapons that would come on a stock Thunderbolt TDR-5SE is a weapon I got for free over here. Now, the weapons that were equipped on this that survived the battle could have been picked up as salvage as part of completing the battle. So it doesn't mean I don't have any of them. Some of them actually did show up over here, but it still had to be stripped down, cleaned up, and then reinstalled over here. So just by itself, this mod is going to dramatically increase the difficulty of campaign, because you're not going to be able to level up your mechs as quickly. In fact, it's going to become much more important that you preserve your own mechs as long as possible, and you might be using somewhat underpowered mech for a lot longer, which makes them that much more difficult. Makes the missions that much more difficult. Now, we're going to pair this up with another mod called Company Mech Salvage. And what this mod does is it makes it so that your mechs can be permanently destroyed when they are too badly damaged. When your mechs take too much damage in battle, they might become permanently destroyed. But in addition to that, your destroyed mechs you can actually salvage as part of the battle. So depending on how they get destroyed, both legs or maybe a center torso hit or whatever, you could get 1 to 3 components after the battle to salvage them. So even a fully destroyed mech is not all entirely lost. It's also worth noting that the person who made these mods, whose username is Morphium, has them fairly highly configurable. For example, you could choose whether or not having a head being destroyed on a mech counts as it being destroyed, and that one of the particular important things of that is with all of these extra difficulties, it might become much more important for you to actually have your mech pilot eject out of your mech. Ejecting from a mech normally destroys the head, which means that your destroyed mech will be, depending on if it had any body parts blown off ahead of time, will be available as 3 different pieces of salvage. However, you can change the options in the mod to make it so that if you eject and destroy the head, you can still salvage the mech in one piece, other than the fact that you'll have to repair the head, of course. So you can tune the difficulty. Same thing with the mod here that makes it so that salvaged mechs are broken. You can actually change the settings to choose to have certain body parts intact. For example, maybe you decide that your center torso, and even your center and your side torsos, should come in one piece on your fully salvaged mechs over here, but you still have to repair the legs and the arms and the head or something like that. So it's highly, highly tunable. The final mod that I'm highlighting, you can check the doobly-doo down below for this, is called Mech Maintenance by Cost. By default, and I didn't realize this, in the normal game, the cost of maintaining your mech, and I don't remember, is there someone you can check out? Your finances over here, and your costs. If I understand correctly, in the base game, the maintenance for your mechs is normally something like 12,000 C creds, whatever, a piece or something, like it's a static cost. Well, this mod makes it so that the cost of maintaining your mechs scales up based on their total value. So more expensive mechs need a lot more money to maintain. So it's going to be a little harder to turn a profit. That, combined with the fact that now you're having to repair all your mechs, can make this really brutal. Without any other changes to the game, you've all of a sudden gotten a much, much more hardcore experience, which I think is very, very cool. Anyway, the 3 mods I've talked about today, they are linked down in the doobly-doo. They all also require that you use the Battletech Mod Loader, which is a sort of a meta mod tool that is under development to make it easy to integrate more mods into Battletech. You have to download the Battletech mod loader, and it tells you where to unzip it to, and then there's an executable you have to run, at which point then you can put all these mods that work with it just in a mods folder, and they load up automatically when you start the game without any additional work. It keeps the installation really clean because they all have their own folder, and it's really wonderful. However, as is always the case with mods, use them at your own risk. We are talking about downloading executables and, DLLs for the mods from the internet, and so who knows what kind of stuff might be in there. It so happens that the 3 mods plus the mod loader I'm talking about are open source. You can look at the code. You can compile the project yourself if you're unsure. Also, they're just C# code, so it's actually really easy to decompile them as well to see what's going on. So, take a moment and double check that you're satisfied with it. And I, can't provide any tech support for the mods, but they were very, very easy to install as far as I can tell, and I'm really looking forward to continuing through the game like that. Still have a lot to do in the main story. Oh, this is where you go and you change your mech color. That's right. I was like, why can't I click on that little mech over there? Now I remember. I like how it's like painting the minis, just like you're playing Battletech tabletop. It's fantastic. Anyway, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.